LeBron, by the way, in 18.9.
Oh my gosh.
It's just too much of that action. And all God's people said,
I
amen.
like that.
Amen,
that
brother.
High school 3-on-2 break.
Amen, brother.
119-96 is your final. Lakers, for the first time this season, have lost three.
The Los Angeles Lakers just dropped 3 straight games, and somehow people are still whispering around the real problem like it's taboo to say out loud. Let's stop dancing around it and call it what it is. This situation is cooked. The issue isn't hidden, it's not complicated. It's standing right in front of everyone every single night, and it starts with LeBron James still being in Los Angeles. The uncomfortable truth? His run in LA has reached the end of the line, and pretending otherwise is only stretching this mess longer than it needs to be. This didn't fall apart overnight. The warning signs have been blinking for a while now, and ignoring them doesn't make them disappear. Everyone's been in that situation, staying somewhere too long, not because it's working, but because admitting it's over hurts. That's exactly where the Lakers are right now with LeBron, and everybody watching from the outside can see it. Then came the slap-in-the-face moment. A straight-up beatdown by the Houston Rockets, 119-96, locking in a third straight loss and ripping the curtain off everything the Lakers were trying to hide. That game wasn't close, it wasn't fluky, and it definitely wasn't competitive. This team isn't cracked, it's structurally broken. LeBron finished that loss with 18 points in a 21-point blowout. 18. That's not a stat line from someone dragging a franchise toward a title. That's a guy trying to duct tape things together while the walls collapse around him. Even the broadcast crew stopped playing nice. Charles Barkley didn't sugarcoat it when he said the Lakers can't stop a bloody nose on defense. That wasn't trash talk. That was reality punching the Lakers in the mouth. Early on, that 19-7 record fooled people, but now they're 19-10 and the truth is spilling out fast. The point differential was screaming the truth the whole time. Close wins early, ugly losses once pressure showed up.
To be a better team, they need to form some type of identity. I don't know which team I'm looking at sometimes. Sometimes they play fabulous basketball, even on the defensive end, and tonight it looked like it was lackluster efforts.
I know it's traditional, but I think the Lakers need to play some zone until they figure out. Play some zone.
Well, when you play zone, that's a throwing up the white flag, red flag, blue.
One analyst straight up called the record fraudulent, and honestly, that label fits perfectly. The standings lied, the film never did, they can't guard anyone. There's no defensive identity, no physical edge, no backbone when momentum shifts. The moment things go sideways, they fold instantly. That's not contender energy. That's a team quietly counting down to an early playoff exit. And if you needed one final visual, the broadcast literally showed the Rockets running 3-on-2 breaks that looked like high school basketball drills. Wide open lanes, no resistance, no urgency. That's not bad luck. That's a system falling apart in real time. Because the Lakers' transition defense wasn't just bad, it was high school bad. That's the level of effort and organization we're talking about here. Guys jogging back, blown assignments, wide open lanes, zero urgency. And the wild part? LeBron James, the guy known for IQ, control, and leadership, was on the floor watching it happen in real time. That's a massive red flag, no way around it. Here's the part nobody wants to say out loud, but it has to be said. LeBron James is 40 years old. He's the NBA's all-time leading scorer, a 4-time champion, and a lock for basketball immortality. Nobody is debating that. But the hard truth hits different when you see it on the court. His days as the centerpiece of a real championship contender are over. That's not disrespect, that's reality. Father Time stays undefeated, and even LeBron can't outrun that clock forever. The bigger issue is what the Los Angeles Lakers have done in response. Instead of building a ruthless, win-now machine, they've built everything around keeping LeBron comfortable.
What did you see overall in the game, kind of starting in that first quarter on the glass and the turnovers and how that prevailed through it?
Yeah, you know, the two words of the day were effort and execution. And, you know, I feel like when we've done both of those things at a high level, we've been a good basketball team. When we haven't, we're a terrible basketball team. And tonight we were a terrible basketball team. And that started legitimately.
That includes drafting Bronny James, creating the first father-son duo in NBA history. And yes, it's a beautiful moment for the James family, no debate there, but from a pure basketball standpoint, it screams legacy over cold-blooded roster building. Let's keep it honest. Bronny isn't ready for real NBA minutes yet. That's not hate, that's development. Most young players aren't ready right away, and that's normal. But everyone around the league knows why he's on the roster right now, and it's not because he's ready to help win playoff games today. That puts the front office in a brutal spot, and it shows every single night. They're stuck trying to compete while also protecting a storyline, and that balance almost never works. Then injuries start piling up, and everything gets worse fast. Role players are being stretched thin. Austin Reeves had to exit this game with a calf strain that could turn serious. When injuries stack up like this, the rotation shrinks, pressure spikes, and cracks turn into full-blown problems. You hear names like Jared Vanderbilt and Marcus Smart tossed around as defensive solutions, but analysts keep pointing out the same issue. When those defensive-heavy lineups hit the floor, the offense completely dies. No spacing, no rhythm, no flow. That's a brutal trade-off in today's NBA. All of this dumps massive pressure on J.J. Redick, who's stuck juggling defense versus scoring with zero margin for error. Every lineup choice feels like a gamble, and right now, the house keeps winning. And let's be real, this isn't about one bad game.
Do you have on the Lakers right now?
Yeah, the Lakers might be, that record might be a little fraudulent, right? Because they were 19-9 going to today's game. Sounds good, right? Well, now they're 19-10. And if you look at their point differential, it was barely above even. And so there's some cracks showing here because you do have Luka, you have LeBron, and Austin Reeves. But Austin Reeves left the game with a calf strain, and you have to be really careful with those things, right? Because calf strains can be tricky. They can flare into Achilles, and then all of a sudden you're lost for the season. So they're going to be really...
This is what happens when timelines collide, priorities blur, and a franchise tries to honor the past while chasing the future at the same time. If you're watching closely, the warning signs are screaming. It hasn't worked so far, and this part matters. The Los Angeles Lakers hired a first-year head coach, J.J. Redick, with zero professional coaching experience, and dropped him straight into a locker room led by LeBron James. That's not development. That's a pressure cooker waiting to blow. When things go sideways, and they clearly are, who's really calling the shots? Is it Redick trying to build structure, or is it LeBron, a player who's been deeply involved in roster and coaching conversations throughout his entire career? That question hangs over every timeout, every lineup tweak, every late-game decision. You can feel the hesitation on the floor. The broadcast laid the numbers out clean, and they're ugly. With LeBron and Austin Reeves on the floor, the Lakers' offensive rating ranks 7th in the league. Sounds solid until you hear the other half. Their defensive rating is 24th. That's not a contender. That's a team trading buckets while bleeding points. In today's NBA, speed, youth, and athleticism run everything, and the Lakers keep getting cooked by younger, faster teams.
So they need to listen to you.
Oh, they got to do something.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not in a. I mean, they pretty on paper, but they can't guard anybody. You cannot play in the NBA today if you're not athletic. You cannot. I mean, especially big guys are irrelevant anymore. The game is led by perimeter players. And if you don't have athletic ability on the perimeter, you're going to struggle in the NBA. That's just the truth.
Just look at what happened when the Houston Rockets walked into Crypto.com arena and played loose, confident basketball like they owned the place. Alperen Sengun controlled the paint with ease, stacking a double-double without breaking a sweat. And Amen Thompson blew past defenders all night. Analysts said it flat out. Nobody could stay in front of him. That's embarrassing for a franchise chasing banners, not moral victories. And here's the part fans dodge, but it has to be said. LeBron is part of the problem, not all of it, but part of it. At 40 years old, he can't bring elite two-way dominance every single night anymore. The scoring flashes still show up, but the defensive tone, transition effort, and constant pressure just aren't consistent. When your best player isn't setting the defensive standard, the entire team feels it. Effort drops, rotations slow, and urgency disappears. And right now, the Lakers are feeling that every single night. One analyst cut through all the noise with a line that says everything about today's NBA.
With those three guys on the floor, they have the 7th best offensive rating in the NBA. However, that defensive rating is 24th, and you saw it today. The Rockets got anywhere they wanted to go. They could not get a stop. KD goes for 25. Alperen Sengun has a double-double. Amen Thompson absolutely ruined those guys. Nobody could stop him today. And so if you're the Lakers, that has to be sort of worrisome for you that you can't get any defensive stops. Their best two defensive players are Jared Vanderbilt and Marcus Smart, but you have those guys on the floor. Now all of a sudden you're a little offensively challenged. I know Jared Vanderbilt had a pretty good game offensively tonight. We've seen flashes from Marcus Smart offensively this season, but it's sort of a catch-22 for JJ Redick about how he mixes.
If you're not athletic, you're done. Big bodies without speed don't scare anyone anymore. This league belongs to perimeter players, quick decisions, and non-stop movement. And if you can't match that energy on the outside, you're cooked. If you're still watching, you already see where this is heading. And if you want the real breakdowns like this, hit subscribe because the next part gets even uglier. That description fits the Los Angeles Lakers perfectly right now. They simply don't have the athletic juice to hang with the league's real contenders. And as legendary as LeBron James has been, he's no longer the athletic eraser who could clean up mistakes on both ends whenever things broke down. So when analysts start floating zone defense as a solution, it's funny and sad at the same time. One of them said playing zone is basically throwing up the red flag, white flag, and blue flag all at once. That's code for admitting you can't guard anyone one-on-one. Real contenders don't do that. Desperate teams do that when cracks turn into craters. And Tim Doyle didn't sugarcoat a single word. He said the Lakers have a 0.0% chance of winning an NBA championship. 0.0. Cold? Absolutely. But be honest, where's the lie? Yes, the record still looks decent on paper, but the point differential is flat, the losses are ugly, and they're getting blown out by teams they're supposed to be competing with.
Last night, and I was a teammate with LeBron James, grew up playing against him, played with him in AAU, McDonald's All-American. I know this man. When he's not engaged or he feels some type of way, it speaks in his body language. Last night, his body language was awful. He was not engaged, he was pouting, he was moping, he was walking up and down the damn floor, he was complaining. And I just think we're to this point, what LeBron and the Lakers their relationship has run its course. And they need to figure out a solution. And the solution is not him being in the Los Angeles Lakers.
There's no defensive fix showing up on film, no switch flipping, no late season miracle brewing. One analyst summed it up perfectly with a brutal comparison. This team looks great on a dating profile, but once you spend real time with them, the baggage is everywhere. That analogy hits way too close to home because the ugly truth is this: LeBron's presence is blocking the Lakers from doing what they actually need to do. Rebuild! They can't fully commit to developing young players because every move is about squeezing the last value out of LeBron's remaining years. At the same time, they can't truly build for the future because they're stuck trying to win right now. That leaves them trapped in basketball limbo. They're not good enough to chase banners. They're not bad enough to land top draft picks. And let's be real, LeBron isn't walking away anytime soon. He's still on max money, still comfortable in LA, still chasing milestones, still playing alongside his son, still fully in control of his destiny from his perspective. Why would he leave? But here's the hard part nobody in power wants to face. What's best for LeBron at this stage is no longer what's best for the Lakers as a franchise. Those paths have split. The priorities are different. The timelines don't match, and everyone can see it, except the people making the final calls. If you're still here, you already know how this ends, so hit subscribe, because the Lakers reality check is only getting louder from here. And then Avery Johnson dropped something that should have set off alarms everywhere. He casually mentioned staying at the same hotel as the Los Angeles Lakers, talking with staff and players, and hearing it straight from the source. They already know the truth. The defense isn't good, especially on the perimeter, and nobody's pretending otherwise inside that building. One recent game said everything. The Phoenix Suns scored on their first 13 possessions of the third quarter, 13 straight. That's not just bad defense, that's no defense. That's missed assignments, zero communication, slow reactions, and effort falling off a cliff. When a team plays like that, it's not just a talent issue, it's culture. Guys stop talking, they stop rotating, they stop trusting each other. And when effort disappears consistently, that becomes a leadership problem, whether people like it or not. And let's be honest about who the leader is. LeBron James is the leader by default because of his resume and status. But at 40 years old, logging heavy minutes, carrying the wear of 21 NBA seasons, can he realistically bring elite energy, defensive accountability, and nightly urgency anymore? Based on what we're seeing, the answer looks like no, and that matters more in LA than anywhere else. This is a franchise that only cares about championships. They don't hang division banners. They don't celebrate first-round wins. Success in Los Angeles means titles, period. And this roster, built the way it is right now, is not winning one. Everyone knows it. Fans, analysts, even people inside the league. Somehow the only ones acting surprised are the people running the front office. What should happen is simple, but uncomfortable. The Lakers need to sit down with LeBron and have a real, honest conversation about what's best for everyone involved. Maybe that means trading him to a contender where he can play a smaller, smarter role and chase one more ring. Maybe it means retirement and transitioning into ownership or a front office role. Maybe it means finishing his career somewhere else entirely. But let's be real about what will probably happen instead. A couple of small deadline moves, some role player shuffling, a lot of talk about getting healthy, then another early playoff exit while everyone pretends it was unexpected. And next season, same mess, different year. Trying to patch together another roster around a 41-year-old LeBron James, another year older, another step slower, still stuck between honoring the past and facing the future. If you've watched this far, you already see it coming. So hit subscribe, because this situation isn't fixing itself, and the truth only gets louder from here. That's the loop the Los Angeles Lakers are trapped in right now, and nobody inside the building seems brave enough to break it. The broadcast even pointed out that LeBron James is heading into the Christmas game as the NBA's all-time leader in Christmas appearances with 19 and total Christmas Day points with 507. Those numbers are insane, legendary, records that might never be touched. But here's the uncomfortable part nobody wants to sit with. Those stats are backward-looking. They celebrate what LeBron was, not what he can realistically be going forward. And that's the core issue eating this franchise alive. The Lakers keep making decisions based on nostalgia instead of direction. One analyst floated the idea of adding pieces before the trade deadline, then immediately admitted he doesn't even know what they could add that would actually move the needle. That hesitation says everything. Because there is no magic fix here. A role player isn't fixing this defense. A backup big isn't suddenly making them faster, younger, or more athletic. This roster needs a full rebuild from the ground up, and you simply cannot do that while committing max money and full control to a 40-plus-year-old superstar. And let's be crystal clear, this isn't about disrespecting LeBron. Nobody is erasing his greatness. Nobody is questioning his legacy. This is about reality and timing. Right now, the Lakers are stuck in basketball purgatory. They're good enough to sneak into the playoffs, but they're nowhere near good enough to scare anyone once they get there. That's the worst place a franchise like this can be. The 3-game losing streak didn't expose something new. It just confirmed what's been obvious all season. This is not a real contender. The record looked better than the product, and that illusion is gone. The LeBron era in LA has reached its expiration date, and dragging it out only hurts both sides. LeBron could still help a contender in a reduced role, picking his spots, controlling moments, chasing one more ring as a contributor instead of carrying the entire weight of a franchise. And the Lakers, they could finally move forward, build a real young core, regain flexibility, stop bending every decision around an aging superstar. But here's the problem, and here's why it probably won't happen. Ending the Los Angeles Lakers LeBron era means admitting something people don't want to face. It means accepting that 6 years resulted in one bubble championship. And that's not the Lakers standard. This franchise doesn't celebrate nostalgia tours. They don't hang banners for vibes. Moral victories don't mean anything in LA. Making that call would require tough conversations, unpopular decisions, real accountability, and image-driven franchises avoid those moments until there's no other option left. That's where the Lakers are right now, frozen, hesitant, hoping the problem fixes itself. But something has to give, because dragging this out only makes it worse. Right now, the Lakers look scared to pull the trigger on the obvious move everyone sees coming. They're protecting feelings instead of direction, history instead of the future. The truth is simple. The LeBron James era in LA didn't fail, but it didn't live up to the standard either. And pretending otherwise just delays the inevitable reset this franchise desperately needs. If you rock with honest NBA talk that doesn't sugarcoat the truth, hit that like button, subscribe, and drop your thoughts in the comments. I'll see you on the next one.